Hi guys, I'm Karen Rice and welcome to my watercolour channel. I'm going to be painting, yeah, you guessed it, those lovely lavender behind us. And I'm actually just sort of trying to encourage you to get your sketchbooks out and have a little go. It's a nice, simple, easy painting to do, suitable for beginners and for all really, just to have a little dabble. If you'd like regular updates of my latest tutorials, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel where you'll get updates of my latest videos. And if you have any comments or questions about this tutorial, please put them in the comments section below and I will try and get back to you as soon as I can. So let's get started. For a full list of all the materials I'm going to use in this tutorial, please see the description below. You will also find a link to this gorgeous photograph as well of the lavender. I'm not going to do any drawing. That's why I've deliberately chosen this type of photograph so you can just paint freely. And I'm going to basically use three colours. Three primary colours. So this is Permanent Rose and I'm using my size 10 round black velvet brush. So if you don't have Permanent Rose, you could use Opera Rose, Quinacridone Magenta, any pink will do, but I will have a list of alternative colours also in the description below. I'm using, as a blue, I'm using Ultramarine. You could use Cobalt Blue, which is a good alternative, but it makes some beautiful violet colours. So I'm sort of mixing up sort of pinky violets, bluey violets, and I quite like sometimes just mixing up my colours here just to get warmed up really, just to get a feel for the colours. And it's good to do little colour swatches as well before you start painting so you're happy with your colour mixes. I've had a lot of inquiries about this particular palette here. I bought it from Jackson's Art Supplies and I will put a link for this palette in the description below. It's very handy and it's got lots of space to actually do lots of colour mixing. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually mixing up using a little bit of Cerulean and a Hansa Yellow Light, which is by Daniel Smith, but you could use Cadmium Yellow Pale, Lemon Yellow. And I always say to my students, any yellow will do. It's terrible, isn't it? But that's what I say. But one thing I've done there now, so I've mixed up lots of colours, is I am actually changing my water. It's a little trio pot that I purchased again from Jackson's Art Supplies, but you could just have a few jam jars there, any sort of containers. But it's always good to have access to clean water and water to clean your brushes. So my water's all lovely and clean. I can start afresh. So I've put some framing tape around the edge of my little sketchbook here. It is a watercolour sketchbook and I've used the framing tape. It's not gummed tape now. It's not the brown tape that you use to stretch paper. That usually confuses people there. It is just like masking tape, and you can use masking tape as well. So whatever you have available. So I'm tilting here to get rid of any puddles. But my first stage is I'm going to be working wet in wet. I've swapped to a smaller brush now and I'm starting off painting wet in wet using my size, I think it's a 4 actually, it could be a 6, but a smaller round brush, working wet into wet. So this first stage you're painting on your paler tones. In watercolour we work light to dark. And I like to work wet in wet to begin with because you get soft fuzzy edges and it's really nice for landscapes as well because soft fuzzy edges are in the distance and things in the distance are lighter in tone. So that's why I like to work wet in wet and obviously light to dark. So I'm painting on some lighter pinky sort of, it's almost like a pinky glow from the lavender in the distance from the photograph. But you can add a tiny touch of blue as well, so you've got more of a pinky violet. And there's a little puddle there just in the middle there, so I'm not going to let that worry me. What you want to do is when you start coming towards the foreground, you want to just leave some gaps for the grasses. So I've got a lovely limey green there. So to create a limey green, obviously I used a cerulean there, but you could use Prussian blue, phthalo blue, a cool blue and a yellow makes those lovely bright limey greens.
So I'm just painting in the foreground here a little bit more larger marks, and just using a bit more blue violet, actually stronger colour in the foreground here, and actually creating some marks now as well with the tip of my brush. If I was to give you one rule for watercolour painting, one thing to stick to is try not to put a wet wash into a drying wash. So make sure your paint is the same consistency as, you know, whatever your paper is doing, how wet or damp it is. Try and keep your brush the same. So wet into wet, you can paint damp into wet, because it won't sort of run too much. But once you start painting wet paint into damp or drying paper, you get a lot of little tricky problems. One of them is you get a back runs, you get all these back runs. But I would always suggest, once your paper and the shine starts going, it's a good idea, especially if you're starting out in watercolour, to stop, dry off your painting and then go back in. You could gently wet your paper, or you can start working wet on dry. I'm working damp into wet here, but it'd be a good idea also to work damp into damp, because what you get here is, you see now the background washes are all spread because it was wet into wet. Now you're getting damp into wet, so you get the paint staying, it's not spreading as much because it's creamier, it doesn't move as quick, so you get the shapes sort of keep to themselves, and I'm getting some sort of fuzzy outlines or fuzzy shaped lavender flowers here. And in between I'm using this creamy lime green, the yellow and the cerulean, painting that damp into wet as well, trying not to touch the lavender, because with the green and the violet makes a really lovely muddy colour, so I will try not to touch it as much as I can. And it's a good exercise here, because once you start painting damp, as I say, the paint doesn't move as much, so you can work like this, so there's no danger of my sort of limey green paint running into the lavender. So it's a really good exercise in using wet in wet techniques, damp into wet techniques, damp into damp, all of those sort of fundamental basic sort of watercolor techniques you start out with. I've just made or mixed up a darker violet colour, so it's creamier, and I've still mixed up the pink and the blue, and I'm just painting some darker colours there using the tip of my brush, just adding a touch more ultramarine there, and just playing now. I would actually call this damp into damp now. The surface, in some areas it's drying off quicker than others. But mostly here it's damp into damp, so that means the background of the paper is drying off a little bit, still got its shine, so it's still safe to paint. If that sheen is there, you're okay to paint. It's when that sheen goes, you really should stop. Let your painting dry and then carry on after it's dry. Really built up the detail here, still working damp into damp, and I thought what I might do is sprinkle the painting now with some salt. I'm using sea salt, but you could use table salt as well, and I'm just sprinkling that here and there onto the damp surface. And what the salt will do is it will absorb the paint and it'll create some lovely light textures. The important thing to do is give the salt time to work, and don't put it on when the paint's really wet or when the shine's going, because you're going to miss your opportunity then. And what I'm doing now is I love using plastic cards, and because my painting is drying off, it's still, it's still got a bit of a sheen there, but it is starting to dry. It's a safe time to use the card because you can actually lift off paint to create some light areas on the lavender. And I'm also scratching in as well to lift off, to create some stems and some other textures. If you're in doubt about using the plastic card, have a practice on a rough piece of watercolor paper first, just to get the hang of it. Mind you, if you're working in your sketchbooks like I am, this is the time to practice these sort of things and just have a little bit of fun. I really like how my background has gone with that yellow light and the pink. It's dried off here, so I'm actually just taking a bit of a chance here because the foreground is still a little bit wet, but it has dried off somewhat. So I'm using my size 4 brush and I'm just painting a little bit of this lavender colour in the background as well, just to kind of create that sort of shapes that are going on in the background there. I really like that, and with the lights coming through. So it's just creating a little bit of detail and texture there. I've decided to give my painting a little spatter as well, and just to create some more textures. I'm just spattering some of the violet colour there using this size 4 brush, and it really does create that little bit of, texture that the lavender has. I've allowed my painting to dry and I've spattered some white mixed with the violet colour, so you've got a really lovely light lilac colour almost, and I'm spattering some light green as well, using the green that I made with the cerulean and the yellow, and I've added some white just to finish off, just to create more atmosphere and lots of yummy textures there. My painting has finished, and I always like to sign and date in my sketchbook especially, and obviously if I'm selling larger works of art, I'll sign and date them of course as well, but it's quite nice just for myself, for my own records. And I would definitely encourage you to do that. But I think I'll leave my painting there for now.
Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I really hope it has inspired you to maybe get your sketchbooks out and have a little dabble. And if you'd like to see longer tutorials that have outline sketches and are ad-free, why not check out my Patreon membership as well? And you can really get a good idea of this if you check out my new website in the description below. We'll give you lots more details. So, and again, if you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to ask me. Thank you again for watching. Happy painting. Bye for now.